The U.S. deploys B-1 bombers to South China Sea after warning fighting for China. The Air Force on Friday deployed 2 B-1B bombers to Guam as the Navy continued its dual aircraft carrier operations in the contested South China Sea. Both services described the operations as routine, but they follow the U.S. State Department announcement Monday, explicitly embracing a 2016 decision by an international tribunal that rejected China's claim of sovereignty over certain reefs and isles in the South China Sea. The pair of Lancer bombers from the 37th Expeditionary Bomb Squadron, 28th Wing at Ellsworth Air Force Base, SD will conduct bilateral bomber task force operations out of Andersen Air Force Base, the Air Force said in a statement. They will train with allies, partner nations and other the U.S. services. The deployment also supports strategic deterrence missions to reinforce the rules international order in the region. About 170 airmen also deployed from Ellsworth to Guam in support of the bomber mission, according to the statement. The Air Force did not disclose the intended length of the deployment. Before arriving on Guam, the bombers conducted intercept training over the Sea of Japan with F-15J fighter jets belonging to the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force. B-1s were last deployed to Guam in May when they flew in from Dallas Air Force Base, Texas. The more than 12,000 sailors and Marines aboard the vessels of the USS Nimitz and USS Ronald Reagan carry a strike. Groups continued training Friday in the South China Sea, where they have been operating since early July. China conducted July 1st to 5th near the Sea's Paracel Islands, which both China and Vietnam claim as their own. The Pentagon issued a statement at the time calling China's actions counterproductive to efforts at easing tensions and maintaining stability in the sea. The current operations by the Nimitz and Reagan strike groups continue to demonstrate operational commitment to allies and partners in the region, providing combatant commanders with significant operational flexibility if needed in response to regional situations. Nimitz and Reagan carrier strike groups are operating in the South China Sea, wherever international law allows, to reinforce our commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific, a rules-based international order, and to our allies and partners in the region. Rear ADM Jim Kirk, commander of Nimitz Carrier Strike Group. The tactical drills focus on the group's offensive and defensive capabilities. These carrier strike groups incorporate the capabilities of embarked fixed and rotary wing aircraft, Aegis-guided missile cruisers and destroyers, and attack submarines, the statement said. This opportunity for 2 carrier strike groups to train and operate together in the region provides combatant commanders with significant operational flexibility and capabilities that only the U.S. Navy can bring. Fortress bomber flew halfway across the world to join 2 aircraft carriers in an exercise Saturday in the South China Sea, Pacific Air Forces said in a statement Sunday. While the B-52 was flying with strike fighters and electronic warfare jets from aircraft carriers USS Nimitz and USS Ronald Reagan over the Pacific. Air Force pilots flew B-1, B-2 and other B-52 bombers above Independence Day celebrations in Boston. The bomber, from the 96th Bomb Squadron, 2nd Bomb Wing, left Barksdale Air Force Base. The 28-hour mission to demonstrate the U.S. capability to rapidly deploy to a forward operating base and execute long-range strike missions Packov quoted Squadron Commander Lieutenant Col. Christopher Duffus saying, Air Force bombers have appeared over the western Pacific several times this year. 4 times B-1B Lancers have overflown the South China Sea or teamed with Japanese air self-defense or the U.S. fighters for exercises since April. A pair of B-52s from Eielson Air Force Base, Alaska, flew to Japan in June for training. While the global strategic demand for our naval forces remains high, having several carry a strike groups currently at sea enabled us to pause for extended operations with the Nimitz team. Saturday's exercise came after the Defense Department on Thursday expressed concern over the Chinese military conducting large-scale exercises around the Paracel Islands in the South China Sea from July 1 to 5. The designated area where the exercises are due to take place encompass contested waters and territory according to the DoD statement. Conducting military exercises over disputed territory in the South China Sea is counterproductive to efforts at easing tensions and maintaining stability. The Navy Chief of Information Rear ADM Charlie Brown responded to the article with a tweet Sunday. To the U.S. Navy aircraft carriers operating in the international waters of the South China Sea.